Yeah, welcome to the class Introduction to Web Technology, to Web Development. Now, as I introduce you to web development, I want you to understand something. When we design websites, we are actually solving a problem. Web development deals with, we are problem solvers. We are trying to make life easier and better for people. When you understand this about web development, it gets easier. It gets easier for both you and your clients, as the case may be. Now, let me cite an example. Imagine a manufacturer of a large company. Definitely, a lot of people will want to meet him over time to know about his company, to know what he's doing. Now imagine the hundreds or thousands of people that want to see him on a daily basis just to have an information of what he's doing. Of course, you know that will wear him out, of course. So, to avoid that and to solve that problem, one of the best things he can do is to create a website. Create a website, upload everything he does on the website. This is my company, I manufacture rice and beans, these are my staffs and everything. And just send the links to people that might be interested. So instead of those people stressing themselves to come to the office just to have an understanding of what he's doing or what is passing across, they just log into the website. Number one, it saves the stress of the manufacturer. It helps even those his visitors to better manage their time. So this is just an example of a way in which web development is solving a problem. Of course, in the educational system, in almost every system of the world, web developers are problem solvers because they create systems with which humans can interact with. So this is the first thing you should understand as you come into being a web developer, that is problem solver. So when you think of things that happens in your surroundings and things on how you can leverage on building a website to solve the problem. So that is what web development, that is the idea you should have about web development. So now, what is web development? For sake of formality, after this class we should enter fully into practicals. After all this theory, finish all the theories today and enter into practical. So what is web development? Web development is the building or maintenance of websites through the use of variety programming languages. That should be programming. Programming languages like CSS, HTML, JavaScript, and many more. Sorry, the person that helped me type it actually made some mistakes. So that's what web development is. It's the process whereby you maintain websites. You develop and you maintain websites. And you use several programming languages to develop your website. So that is the general idea of web development. So it also involves the use of content management systems. Content management systems. I really didn't have time to edit what the person helped me type. So it involves the use of content management system, which is called CMS, to make content easier and available with little basic technical skills. You can develop almost any kind of websites. Sorry for those typographical errors. So that is what web development is. So the building and maintenance of websites with the use of programming languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build a responsive website for a variety of users. So that's what websites, that is it. So what are the basic or common essential languages that is used in web development? As said, number one of the first languages that is used is HTML. The next one is CSS. And another one is JavaScript. Of course, today there are several programming languages that are used in developing web websites. These are the common ones. These are the basic foundational ones that are used in the development of any kind of website. So you should know that one and have that at the back of your mind. So what is HTML? HTML means hypertext language. hypertext markup language. Please take note. It's a sort of codes or writings used to create electronic documents that are displayed on World Wide Web to ensure the use of text and images are well formatted for the internet or browser. So HTML is the language that you start with. Maybe when you want to develop a website, one of the first things you do is to, let me show you an example of an HTML. This is an HTML site. This is one of the code I wrote for one website I am developing. So, of course, there are several menu bar in this. So, now, okay, in our consequent classes, of course, we need to write some codes to make our website more interesting. So, now, anyway, this is how it tends to look like. It looks in this format. You can. So, these are codes you write to correct anything you want to do. So, to make your website as expensive as it should. So basically, the building blocks of any kind of web development is HTML. So they are codes. You write codes. Don't worry, we talk more about all those things. So that is HTML. Then CSS. CSS means cascading style sheet. CSS is an assisting technology for HTML. Now, what makes your website beautiful? What makes your website good looking? It's not the HTML, it is the CSS. It's in the CSS you say that I want this place to be yellow, I want this place to be black, I want this text to have a particular kind of color, I want this image to be round, so that's the work of CSS. So it's a cascading style sheet. Yeah, we will talk about all these things. I can just show you a sample of a code whereby I say that for a text H1 as you see here, I said I want it to be white. I want this H1 to be white. I want a background image. The background image should have this. So that's an example of how a CSS work actually. So taking of that, and last one definitely is JavaScript. JavaScript is what makes your website interesting and what makes people fall in love with your website. It makes people to be able to engage with your website. Like, let's assume somebody wants to register for a newsletter on your website. So those things are programmed in JavaScript. You want your website to behave in a particular way. You do the coding in JavaScript. So JavaScript is a programming language used by web developers to make web pages interactive, while HTML and CSS are used to give the website a better look. JavaScript is what engages the users on the internet. So I've taken note of this in web development. So it's very important and necessary you understand all this. So now, yeah, sometimes ago you will need to code several months before you can come up with a beautiful responsive website. But the world has become better. You don't need to write many codes again. There's a better way. That better way is what I will show you in our next class. So hope to see you soon. Thank you.